everyone! Today we're creating this patriotic shirt for the 4th of July. You'll need to go to the link in the description and get the free PNG files I created for this and upload each of them to your cutting machine's design software. I also most likely will have a SVG file for sale if you're interested in that. That will also be at the link in the description. So I imported the striped file first, and I'm just going to size that up to the size I want it to be. I suggest taking a ruler with your t-shirt and just measuring how wide you'd like it to be. I decided on about 7.5 inches wide for a small women's t-shirt. Once you're happy with that, go ahead and bring in the second file with the words on it. And we're going to size that up so it fits on top of the striped file. And if you're using the SVG file, you won't need to do these steps, you'll just need to ungroup the two shapes. So just keep working with it until it looks how you'd like it to. And then when you're done, go ahead and turn off the file with the words so we just have the striped one. And I didn't show it here, but make sure to mirror it and then go ahead and cut it out. The vinyl I use for this is a red foil heat transfer, and it's from Expressions Vinyl, and I will link it in the description. So once you've cut that, go back to your design software and turn off the shape with the stripes and turn on the shape with the words. Then go ahead and click go and mirror it, and you're ready to cut. The vinyl I use for this one is Sapphire Glitter Heat Transfer, also from Expressions Vinyl, and I will link it also below. The cut setting I use for both of these is just one step higher than iron-on, and it seemed to work really well, so I would recommend using that if you're using a Cricut. And here is how the striped image turned out on the red foil vinyl, and the back side. So now I'm just going to take some scissors and carefully cut around it. So I'm left with this, and then I'm just going to carefully weed off the excess vinyl. So it leaves the design behind on the clear carrier sheet. And it looked like this. So now I'm just going to do the same thing with the vinyl with the words cut out. So I just cut around it, and then now I'm going to weed off the excess vinyl. This is a little more tricky than the stripes are. So it ended up looking like this. And now we're ready to put them on the shirt. So I'm starting with the stripe pattern, and I'm just deciding on position on the front of the shirt. Once I was happy with it, I just flipped it down and out of the way, and then used the iron to heat up the shirt for a few seconds. And just follow whatever the instructions call for the specific vinyl you choose. Put it back in position, and I used a pillowcase to keep it from getting too hot while I ironed it on. And I used a high heat setting and heavy pressure to adhere it to the shirt, and you don't need to do it for the full amount of time because we're going to be doing a second layer. Peel off that clear carrier sheet, and you're left with this. And then just go through and make sure that all the corners and edges are completely adhered. So now I put the pillowcase back over it and heated up the shirt again. And then quickly put the image with the words in place. Before I put the pillowcase down, I just used the iron on it just to start to get it to stick in place. And then I used the pillowcase again to protect it while I completely adhered it to the shirt. Peel off the carrier sheet, and that's it. So I didn't want to leave out those of you that don't have access to a cutting machine, so I came up with a way that I think will work to hand cut this. You'll need to print this out at the link in the description. I made this specifically for hand cutting this out. And then you'll need to tape it up against a window and make sure to flip it over. So you're in effect mirroring it. And you can use the same kind of vinyl as we used for the other method. Just flip it over so the shiny side is against the window. Then take a permanent marker, and a really fine tip one would work best for this, and trace around all the lines. And do that for the entire design. Then take it off the window, and once you've cut this out, you probably want to use some rubbing alcohol to remove the permanent marker. But to cut it out, you'll need an Xacto knife, and I suggest doing some test cuts on a scrap of this to see how hard you need to cut. And for any straight lines, you can just use a ruler to guide you. You want to make sure that as you're cutting this, you don't cut through the clear carrier sheet, you're just cutting through the vinyl itself. So like I said, do some test cuts to see how hard you need to press. And because I haven't tried this myself, I would love to hear how it went from any of you that might try it. And that's it! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more from my channel, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week with another video.